Stu and Dave Do America present Gays versus Ghosts.
Are what? Are you?
Are we what?
Gay. Are you gay?
It literally just said, are you gay?
Yeah, Joan. Do you care?
Do you have a problem with homosexuals?
That just spiked.
Joan, homophobia is not cool. Like, this is not the way to do things.
It turned out to be Strom Thurmond. He just stayed and was talking to them because they were white. If you want to find gay ghosts, if you have such, although I think the authenticity of this might be off.
Really?
They could really set that thing off if they went to the Pulse nightclub in Orlando. I hear there's 49 ghosts there. Hashtag gays for Islam.
That's how we're going to start the show? That's the start of the show.
It's really more of a joke about the guy who did it.
Murderers.
Yeah, than the people that were the victims, who I think shouldn't be. I think they should still be alive. I
thought yesterday's show was going to get us canceled.
It'd be funny if it was just Paul Lind. Hello.
A little flair on the show might help.
Look, I'm just saying, if you're going to talk to homophobic ghosts, though, you're talking to people that died a long time ago. They're not going to have the same positions as you. What are we doing here?
Yeah, no, that's your critique
odd.
of the show is it's not historically accurate.
I just like that the ghosts...
It's not that it's a reality show about a bunch of gay guys who are searching for ghosts who are talking to them through a digital box of some sort.
Correct. Well, it's the closest that they've all been to a
Right.
box in many, many years.
Let's do Bill Maher's basic biology lesson. Welcome to Stu and Dave Do America, perhaps for the last time. Hi, Dave.
Hello, everyone. We meet again, and ahoy.
Thank you for that. Bill Maher was talking to a comedian. Bill Maher shatters comics' liberal bubble with brutal reality check about trans 8-year-old. I can't believe OWN didn't get into that headline. I'm very disappointed in the New York.
Yeah, that's a popular word.
It is. Owns comic. Now, comic is a word here that I would say a little disrespectful because we're talking about one of my favorites of all time, David Cross.
Agreed.
Now, I love David Cross. I don't love his politics. They're actually terrible. There are things I don't love about David Cross's opinions, but he is, I think, brilliant when it comes to comedy, especially sketch comedy.
Oh, sketch comedy, Mr. Show, Arrested Development, all that.
Stand up. He's got a lot of. Yep.
Which
yes, Alvin,
I like that he makes fun of.
He makes fun of. If you don't know this, he did I think 3 Alvin and the Chipmunks movies.
I think so.
And all of them, even in between the movies, he would say how he totally just took it for like the paycheck.
Which I appreciated the honesty.
Yes, I do too.
And honest, look, I think he believed he has a kid. Why not?
Yeah, seriously.
I hate when people are like, you sold out. It's like, yeah, that's the point.
Yeah.
You're supposed to make money doing the thing that you do. I mean, and especially with him, he's been able to create a lot of really great stuff. Arrested Development was mainstream, and it was brilliant.
Yeah, it really was. Now, what's interesting about the point that you just made there, Dave, is he's known for his honesty, right? Even if you don't agree with his point, like he's very, very blunt about religion in his stand-up comedy. It's not my favorite part of his comedy, but that's what he does, right? He'll just say it.
Correct.
He'll just say, I took a movie role for the cash. That's what I did. It wasn't for art. It's not the greatest movie of all time, but they paid me a lot, so I'm going to do it. He'd just admit that to you.
And he's, one of my favorite bits is when he's talking about James Lipton getting the Cable Ace Award and this giant speech he gives. Yeah. He's like, I don't even know why we're here. It's basically if World's Greatest Grandpa was an actual trophy. He's trashing himself as well.
Yeah.
So I think he's always honest regardless, and that's what I like about him.
With that knowledge,
yes,
it makes this clip a little bit more interesting because he's talking to Bill Maher, and in a way, because he's sort of old school, he came out of the alternative comedy scene of the 90s, you'd expect him to be sort of more aligned with where Bill Maher is, right? A person who's against censorship, a person who's kind of like, hey, like, say what you're going to say, stop trying to hide behind woke nonsense, right? And I think at times he's expressed that. I don't know what's going on now. He's kind of decided to go a different direction when it comes to the trans issue. A very awkward exchange at times, but Bill Maher handles this pretty well. Here's Bill Maher with David Cross.
Anything that's just all one team, it's not good. You need to hear that other side. You need to be checked. People need to be checked.
I think they'll be
including your little girl.
Okay.
She needs to be checked. I don't know.
That bitch. That little bitch with her black friends and trans friends and not even understanding. She doesn't know.
Wait, she has trans friends in 3rd grade?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, they know they're trans in 3rd grade.
I knew one of her friends. I knew when he was a girl.
How old?
I think just turned 9, and is just the coolest kid. I think they're
Boy
gonna
to
be
girl, girl to boy?
Girl to boy.
Girl to boy, okay.
And she has another very close friend who's not in this school, but who's boy to girl at 3.
But
3
girl
years
to
old.
boy, I knew somebody who said to me, actually more than one person who said to me, a woman said, I was what they called a tomboy. If I was alive now and acted the way I did then, that's what they would have done to me.
So many things in just this first part of this clip. Number one, David Cross looks just great. Wow, doesn't he look fantastic?
I don't mind the
Aging
look.
well, what is the look?
I don't know.
Looks like a sea captain half dressed you on your way out to the cargo shorts store.
Honestly, a 60-year-old comic who drinks.
Just go ahead.
It's not really all that crazy. He looks how David Cross would look at that age. Honestly, I defend him there.
He looks like a guy from one of his sketches from the back in the day where he's put in like the pillow for his stomach and the beard is like doesn't even look real.
Yeah, talking about how where they're
askew. What is happening? But more than that, more serious than that, he discusses having a kid who has a friend who is trans, and then another friend who went trans at 3 years old, and is treating this as if it's a serious thing that can occur.
Well, he's in L.A., though, where he lives, so he is at the eye of the storm. So, if any of us lived in Los Angeles, our kids would have a friend who identified as trans. It would be almost impossible not to.
It's true. About 85% of kids in Los Angeles are trans these days. But I would hope, Dave, we would be able to keep our connection to reality and be able to say, look, that's not a thing. You are not... First of all, if you're trans, I thought the whole point was you were living your life in the wrong gender so that the entire time you actually were a girl and you're just like getting it right. Like you're, again, the accusation essentially turning God's mistake correct. But okay, that's sure if that's what you want to say. Sure. But now he even says there, well, he was a girl. Well, I knew her when he was a girl and now he's a boy or whatever, whichever way that went.
Right.
That's doesn't make any sense to me. But beyond that, 3 years old, this is insanity. This is insanity.
Third grade.
I think he said 3. I think he said.
Oh, at 3 he knew her?
3 years. 3rd grade was the first friend they discussed. The second one was 3 years old.
Yeah, it's not. John Mulaney has a very funny bit, and I'm paraphrasing it because it is from a long time ago, but it is about how basically any boy before they get testosterone or hit puberty or at a certain age come off as gay. Because you just have little boys being like, I'm just going to stay here and play with my birdhouse. They just say stuff that's creepy and gay. So really any boy before they hit puberty just does things that are not inherently sexual because their body is not sexualized yet. So the idea that you would switch that or even be okay with it, it's a conversation that I'm shocked we're still having.
Right. It did seem like it was evaporating. And I will say too, if you want to reach to the depths of your grace here, you could say David Cross knows he's on a show. His kids are probably friends with his family.
Right.
And he knows if he says, well, obviously it's really a girl, but she thinks you're a boy right now, who knows? That's going to cause you problems in your life. And maybe he's just trying to skirt that. I don't know. Or does he actually believe that with a series of magical words as a toddler, you can change your gender?
I think he's honestly just on a podcast. He knows people are watching. Bill's high as hell, and he's trying to just get through a conversation. Yeah, you just have a guy blowing weed smoke at him. I mean, he's a guy who also, look, he just did Rogan's show. He did Brewer's show. He's not somebody who's going to refuse to do anything because of their politics. No. So I think he's really just answering the question of like, yeah, my kid has some trans friends.
Okay, all right.
If I had a kid, if my son was friends with trans kids, and thank God he's not. No, but if he was, I would probably say specifically like, well, yeah, he does, and kind of leave it at that if I knew the family. And again, I realize I'm defending him, but it's a defendable thing because he's not trying to change laws. He's not trying to really go out there and like really advocate.
Right, but he is not telling the truth. I understand.
I think he's dodging the whole story more than not telling the truth. That's more of like when women go, well, you didn't tell me the whole thing, so you're lying.
I would argue he knows what he's saying is untrue.
You're like, I said we were near a strip club.
Right.
You just left out the part where I said we went in.
We went in too. We were there. We were near it for 4 hours. I get what you're saying there. And I do have some, because you get put in a position on a podcast like I will say this, he doesn't want to have this conversation. It's not like he's doing what a lot of Hollywood people do, which is like, I want to tell you about how trans I am.
Yeah, I think he's avoiding it.
He's trying to avoid it and get around it, but also answer the question. Okay, so that's part one of it. But it gets different. I think it changes after this. This is part 2 now of Bill Maher with David Cross.
Well, nobody's doing this to her.
Well, I don't know. I mean,
literally, nobody is doing this to her.
How old?
She is, or he is, either 8 or I think 9.
Okay, then somebody is doing something because 8 or 9-year-olds can't.
No, you know what they're doing?
Can't do anything on their own.
No, they're buying them boys' clothes.
Well, then they're doing something. They're doing.
Sure. Yes, you're right. They're buying them boys' clothes
and telling them you're a boy now. Okay,
no, they're not telling them. They're just agreeing with. They're like going.
Well, they're
okay,
agreeing
honey.
with an 8-year-old because when has their judgment ever been off? At 8.
I agree with Bill. That's enabling, and you are the reason that they. There's no doubt.
There's no doubt. And look, I think David Cross knows that. But again, he's trying to make the point. But you see how defiant he gets when he's like, no. They are literally not doing that to him. He is trying to advocate for that position here. This isn't him just worming out of the conversation. He's pushing back, I think, pretty strongly there at Bill Maher, look, I disagree with Bill Maher on 100 different things. He's obviously right on this. Everyone on earth understands this. And everyone who's saying stuff like David Cross is lying. The bottom line is when you're 8 years old, you can't make decisions like this.
Well, if I bought clothes for myself when I was 8, which no one does,
right?
Like your style changes dramatically when you get your first job and go into high school and you can buy what you want. Mm-hmm. There's a reason for it. Mm-hmm. Everything before that, I didn't want to wear dress pants to kindergarten like my mom made me. That was absurd. Right. She was bipolar and thought I should dress like it was a private school while everybody else is wearing sweatpants. My brother and I looked like lunatics. It looked like we were part of a weird compound, and my dad was like, this has to stop. And then I got to wear sweatpants. That's my mom's fault. I didn't want to dress like a banker.
You weren't making that decision.
No, she was making me a trans banker.
You were not a banker, and then all of a sudden you were for multiple years in your childhood. And look how good your childhood turned out after that. Everything went swimmingly.
It was fine. I didn't rebel at all. And become a crippling... Well, look, I like Addicts Watch. This is even from a place.
It is.
Yes, it is. It's
beyond addiction.
It's a recovery center for women.
Oh, really?
They watch the show. Yeah.
Where you go to pick them up? Or what?
Oh, no. Okay. When they come out, I try to give them more drugs. So I actually run the program, and then we re-addict them, and then can bill their insurance company.
Because that's like circular. You sell them the drugs, you put it back in and then you own the rehab center.
And sadly, what I just said is real. This is actually what people do that run a lot of rehab centers.
Really?
This rehab center is legit. Very good people. But yeah, no, some do that. They actually have people. This is a big problem in West Palm Beach, Florida. Not to derail the conversation from this, but it is a real issue that they do try to get people immediately back on the drugs they just kicked, so then they can come back in and then they can again bill their insurance.
What?
It's very tragic. Yeah, my friend Robert, who runs a rehab in West Palm Beach, has to deal with it all the time.
Oh my God, it's terrible.
Yeah.
I did not know that was even a thing.
It's very sad.
You live in darker corners of the world than I do. I feel like
I've seen some things, man. I'm like a nom vet. Yeah. I've seen some stuff.
It's very true, by the way. Okay, I want to highlight this tweet before we get to the last clip of this. Millennial woes. This is a meme that's gone around for a while, but it's a great point, which is it's amazing how much leftist discourse is just them pretending not to understand things, thus making discourse impossible. It's so true. We see this all the time. Oh, what do you mean? I don't even understand. The interview the other day with Trump when they were talking about the assassin and the manifesto, and the journalist was like, "Oh, do you think that they're referring to you when they say pedophile?"
Yes.
I don't even understand. What?
Yeah, you do something deliberate right to Trump, and then you're angry when he calls you. Like you thought it was okay that you're going to call him a pedophile, and he wasn't going to respond with any sort of indignance.
Yes, he's going to be a little upset at that one. This happens here with David Cross. You'll hear it in the middle of this clip because he's caught. I mean, Maher's really, I think, cornered him on the point, and he has to just act like he doesn't understand what's happening. Watch.
You knew you weren't gay, right?
It's
not different.
It is different.
No, it isn't.
It's okay. Good luck with President Vance, because as I always say to my woke friends, we voted for the same person. You're just why she lost. And this is a case of that.
Wait, what?
We voted for the same person.
Wait,
right.
You're just why she lost. Because America hears this, and they're going to go, Bill's right. 8-year-olds can't really make decisions on their own like this. That's what most people are going to say. And this is where the Democrats are, with David Cross living in Brooklyn, with Mandami loving, and this is why we're going to vote for J.D. Vance, and that's
I don't think
that's
it's
America in a nutshell.
I don't.
Doesn't mean I don't love you.
No, I disagree with you.
I know it's okay.
Yeah, I know it's okay.
It's okay, but it is true that Bill Maher's right. I mean, a good chunk of the reason why Donald Trump is president of the United States right now is because of stuff like this.
Look, and I think Bill Maher is very educated and right about a lot of stuff, and I also think he can be a smarmy dick, but I think it gets the point across.
Yeah.
I'm being honest.
That's a tough thing to say to your friend, which is...
Right,
but he's right.
But he has the balls to do it, and that's one of the things I do like about Bill Maher is he does just say what he thinks.
Yeah.
And I think Cross is backed into a corner because he just doesn't want to go too against the grain. And I think that can even be added to violence, losing work, whatever. Like, he's probably as tired of having the conversation as America is.
I think this is all true, but it is him running away from the actual conversation. By the way, is it even true, what they said at the beginning of that? I don't think I knew what gay was when I was 8 years old. I mean, I don't think I didn't have feelings towards girls at 8 years old either. They just thought they were icky probably at 8 years old.
No, I just knew we had an uncle we weren't allowed to play with. It was the 80s. We didn't know everything.
Right. No, that's true.
Yeah.
But I mean...
We had an uncle that had a cough that wouldn't go away.
Right.
That's 14.
I don't know if that's an accurate count. There's going to be... We have PricewaterhouseCoopers coming in to figure
But you're right, though. I mean, for a guy... For the revival of his sketch show when he did the blackface...
Yeah, I want to get to that.
Sorry. Go
Let's
ahead.
get that. First of all, I want to point out that David Cross, he did a show called Mr. Show with Bob and David.
So you were on the same page.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
So let's go back to that one first. This is David Cross in his role as Tatiana, the weather hermaphrodite.
Santa had been freed, and so there was no Christmas. It was a terrible, terrible winter. The winter snows came and buried the Northeast. If you look at our action weather radar, you can see there's quite a storm coming from over here. I'm Tatiana, the weather hermaphrodite.
No. Look. First of all, it's utterly incredible. It's just I just love the show.
Actually, I had a pansexual one too that was hysterical.
Pit Pat, the pansexual spokes thing. It's a fantastic show, and he's very funny in it. And he was able to make fun of that. Now that is the '90s. Maybe he's had some woke awakening where he is now would not do that sketch again. I don't know, but that's he for a very long period of time that was his thing. He would call out crazy stuff like this.
Well, in 2015, he wears blackface in a sketch.
Yes.
And that was one of the best parts of that whole revival.
Yeah. Let's skip to that here real quick.
Oh, sorry. I didn't know you had that pulled.
It's okay. It's called...
this is an honest conversation you're saying, folks, because we and him were just fans of a show, so we can point out why we think this way about it.
Yes.
We're saying this as fans. Like, you and I obviously are going
I love
through
the guy.
same thing.
I have this.
So do I. I do too.
I said this back in the day because we talked to Jay Johnson, who was on Mr. Show.
Who I really want on this show,
Yeah,
too.
we should totally have him on. He's awesome. I love him. He's one of the stars of that show. And he was also, he had a trip to Washington, D.C. planned and happened to be on a January 6th, and he happened to be in the general vicinity of the Capitol.
Right.
Now, when that story first broke, all of his friends, like David Cross and Bob Odenkirk, abandoned the guy.
Yes, they did.
Which is disgraceful in a million different ways. But we didn't know what he had done inside. There were some people, by the way, I've said this from the very beginning, from that day, there were some people who acted disgracefully on January 6th. It wasn't all grandmothers walking in because someone opened the door for them.
No.
Some people were hitting cops and doing terrible things.
And I had Adam Johnson on my show, who I like, the lectern guy, and would lecture an inch, which was obviously for fun.
There's a wide breadth of people.
Yeah, and once you sit in prison for like 6 months for that, or jail, you got to go, no, let's let the guy talk.
Yeah.
But there are people who did behave disrespectfully.
Right.
And that, I'd say that it is the nation's capital.
Yes, it totally. There was a lot of problems there. Now, I didn't know at the time what Jay Johnson had done. And at the time, when I thought there was a chance he did something actually bad, I did say that I think Mr. Show should get him immunity. It was that good.
I agree with you.
That he should actually be immune for all crimes going forward, even if he committed them there. Now, the long story short, I think they tried to charge him with pushing for several seconds in a crowd. So they really didn't have much on him. And of course, obviously, he was.
Yes, being goaded by a federal agent to push a federal agent.
Yes. Probably. He was probably the only one that wasn't an agent.
That's what I mean. Judging by the percentages, once they released the number, it's like 246. And the other 4 were were 2 guys we know, and then 2 people I haven't met yet. The rest were just feds.
Okay. So when it comes to the way tastes change, right? The way we express ourselves when it comes to comedy or entertainment, when things change, a lot of times what they do is try to apply the new standard to the old stuff, right?
Yes.
Like right now, in theory, he could be getting in trouble for playing Tatiana the Weather Hermaphrodite because it's hateful. I think that's nonsense. The same thing happened with him in a 2015 or 14 revival of Mr. Show with Bob and David that went to Netflix. It was called With Bob and David. It's still on Netflix now. He did a sketch, which was kind of making fun of a thing that was out there at the time, sort of like the libertarian, I'm going to pull into a police checkpoint and show you, I'm going to show you what your rights are. And while you're filming yourself and you're explaining all the laws, it's a very funny sketch.
Yes, he's essentially trying to get the cop to react in a way that you can catch it on film.
To react to him. He goes through the checkpoint multiple times and the cop's just really nice. He's just like a nice guy.
Yes.
He doesn't want to beat him up at all, but he wants the video. So to entice the cop to beat him up, he decides to go in blackface. Here's how that went.
Okay, officer, I'm fully cooperating.
License plate. All right, step out of the car, sir, please. If you could just step out. Yeah, let's get this undone.
Wait.
Yeah, that feel good? Come on. Get on.
Okay, finally, here we go. Oh, God, it stinks. Okay, officer, I am taping this interaction, okay? Oh, Jesus. Oh, it's okay to swear. You have the legal right to swear. Oh.
Is the taping going all right? Oh, hey, whoa.
It is in your right to vomit. That's completely okay.
It's an incredible sketch. By the way, the cop who's abusive to him as soon as he comes in blackface is Jay Johnston.
Yes.
Again.
Yeah.
Which is hilarious. That sketch, which is, if anything, is a point against racism. If anything, in that debate, it would be not a point in favor of like wearing blackface for laughs. It was about proving, that this guy's an idiot, first of all, but also, hey, as soon as he shows up and has dark skin, he gets beat up after all these other interactions.
Oh, it's perfect. It's a perfect
awesome
because it twists exactly how you want it to. Where yes, you don't see the blackface coming. Mm-hmm. So you have him going over like 4 times and they won't do anything but be polite. And then the second he's the black guy, they're tasing him, and it's perfect. It's hilarious. And it is. And yes, if anybody looks at that and goes, the sketch is about blackface, you completely have missed any point that that's trying to make. It's saying that It's just funny that, yes, many cops over time have been on camera abusing black people.
Yeah,
so then to have this guy get the crap kicked out of him the second he's black,
it's funny.
Fun.
It's funny.
It's funny.
By the way, you talk about you have to be an idiot to not get it. Netflix kind of was in this situation. They pulled not only the sketch, but the entire episode.
That's right.
There's only 4 episodes of this show, and they pulled one of them for this reason. So they pulled all the other sketches too, which has made no sense at all. The funny thing about it is if you go back, there is kind of a 5th episode, which is a behind the scenes thing. I mentioned this a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
In that, it's a behind the scenes about it. This sketch was like one of the sketches they were using to promote the series. That's how much they liked it at the time. And in the behind the scenes, they left that one on Netflix where they actually show him, here's a picture, getting the blackface makeup in the middle of getting it applied. They actually show that happening, but they pulled the episode where it's put in context. So now all you see is a guy getting blackface without the context, as if this is better.
Yes, this is just something he does between sketches.
Yeah.
Well, and with it, it's the idea that with Netflix putting on Kill Tony Mania, the number of stuff that they put out from comedians, everything that they do that tires, stuff that you could easily be misconstrued as offensive. Why this? Why pull this?
Why pull this?
It makes very little sense to do that when they have so much content on there that can be picked apart. What I've liked about Netflix was the fact that they have put on people that were canceled and
Yeah, they really have.
Yeah, so to do this is completely ridiculous.
It's one of their weird decisions, and again, it wasn't like Dave Chappelle, like where it was one of their most popular shows. Like they, I think it's a thing. They got a complaint, and they pulled the thing off, and have never dealt with it again. But it's stupid. They should change it.
Yes, they should.
I would argue that Mr. Show is one of the best sketch comedy shows of all time.
I would agree.
We spent a little time thinking about this. We've got our top 5 sketch comedy shows of all time. We'll bring them to you next. Buying or selling a home has a way of making normal people feel like they suddenly need, like 3 new careers. Overnight, you're expected to become a pricing expert and a negotiator and a contract lawyer. Not to mention a market analyst and a home stager and apparently a part-time therapist as well. If you get any of this wrong, the stakes are really large, and that's the biggest problem. realestateagentsitrust.com is the place to go to find someone who knows what they're doing. You probably don't know what you're doing.
I don't.
Dave definitely doesn't know what he's doing.
Sometimes I just sell people's houses that I don't even own.
You don't even, that's actually illegal.
I know, I found that out.
Yeah. realestateagentsitrust.com can direct you away from illegal activities when selling your home. They also can help you understand the local market, communicate clearly, and know how to guide people through a process, which is really, really important. The truth is, buying or selling a home is stressful, even though things might go well for you. The whole thing is troubling. You want to make sure you're getting it right and making sure you're not wasting any money fixing up some room that it's not going to help you with the price. The right agent can solve these problems for you and save you some money. realestateagentsitrust.com. This is a free service, by the way, so take advantage of it. realestateagentsitrust.com. It's realestateagentsitrust.com. One thing we've noticed doing a show together and talking off the air since we've known each other and at our time at the Blaze is that how much we both love sketch comedy. Now, yes. I know you've done obviously a lot of great sketches here for the Blaze, and recently there's been a couple really great ones we've had on this show.
Yeah, I started at Second City as well.
Yeah,
when I was 19 in 2001.
This is your background. Yeah. I was more of just a huge fan of sketch comedy. We've done some stuff here though too, which maybe not as good as your stuff, but I think pretty good.
I think you've done great.
Yeah, there's some funny ones we've done here as at the Blaze as well.
It's my favorite art form, I think, I would have to say.
I love it. I love it. If I can find a good sketch comedy show, I get involved very, very, I go hard on it.
Me too.
So we have a list of our top 5. Let me go through some of these that didn't make either of our list. We had the producers go through and give us a list. So I don't know what your list is.
Okay.
But here's a bunch that didn't, stop me if you want to comment on them. Gillian Keeves, which was kind of like that was Shane Gillis, right?
That's a great show.
It's a great show, but there wasn't a ton of episodes.
No, and yeah, Shane's a friend of mine, and yeah, it's awesome. It's hilarious. I mean, every sketch on that show is funny. That's where I got to give it credit.
Yeah, that's very high batting average.
And I think if it ran much longer, it would have been on my list. But it's not a long. Right. It's not there's not a ton of episodes.
And I had trouble with some of those like that. Other nominees here, Human Giant. I don't really remember that one, honestly.
It was pretty good.
Pretty good.
It was on Cartoon Network.
Inside Amy Schumer, which one there that people bashing. I will say about Amy Schumer, this is probably my most controversial comedy take of today, which is early Amy Schumer is actually pretty funny.
Honestly, my
say
friend Kurt Metzger, and a lot of you guys might know him from Normal World, wrote on that show.
Oh, wow.
And a lot of the sketches were really good. And one of the funniest ones, I think, was they were playing a war game, and it was, do you want to file rape charges? And she's a female soldier, and she's like, yes. And it's like, are you sure? And it's brilliant.
Yeah, it really is.
So there was definitely people can hate on it, but there were great writers behind the scenes of that show.
Yeah, and some of her early stand-up is actually really, really inappropriate and very funny.
Her half hour is very funny.
Yeah, I will say.
When they first broke her with the half-hour specials. And,
she's become another thing. But at that time, I think...
She's become Chuck.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the problem.
Yeah, that's probably true. I will say too, there's a sketch that they had on that show, which was it was about texting. It was like there was a text message back and forth, which was awesome. It was really, really funny. There are some hits on that show.
Well, and her movie was funny, and Colin Quinn as the dad was great.
Yeah. Key and Peele,
brilliant show.
Yeah, brilliant show. Didn't make the list though. I'm surprised on that one. Kroll show had some really funny.
Yeah, really funny.
Mad TV was kind of like the alternative SNL for a while. Never one of my favorites.
Well, I think Will Sasso's incredible, and a lot of the sketches that he was in playing Steven Seagal and some other stuff was great. But a lot of people are diehards over it, and I'm just not.
Yeah. Another one, Monty Python's Flying Circus, which is I struggle with that as a sketch show. I guess it is, but I don't know.
I love Monty Python for the Holy Grail, and I appreciate them for what they are. And John Cleese's Faulty Towers is
Towers is one of the best shows of all time.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. But let's be honest, every movie is not a hit, and not a lot of the sketches were really great.
There was ups and downs on that. Ben Stiller show.
Great show.
Great talent
season
behind that. Yeah, but very short.
It actually won an Emmy for Best Writing after it was canceled.
Yeah. Love that. Benny Hill, which is a classic, but not on my list. Carol Burnett, same thing.
Sure.
Dana Carvey show. Great documentary about the Dana Carvey show.
It should have been a lot better, and some of it was really funny.
Show, you mean?
Yeah. But it was also prime time. I think it was ABC.
Yeah, it was a very weird effort.
Yeah, it just didn't work.
Yeah, but there's a great documentary called, I think, Too Big to Fail about
Hulu,
it.
yeah.
Because they had incredible amount of talent on that show.
Oh, Louis C.K. was a writer.
Colbert was on there.
On it.
What's his face?
I think Heckner may have been on it, if I remember correctly.
Several people. I'm missing one of them. There's another big one that was on it. Eric Andre.
The talk show kind of thing he did.
Kind of a sketch show, but I don't. It's more like an extended single sketch.
Yeah, it was
so I don't
fine,
know
I
if that
guess.
fits exactly. The State, which was on MTV.
I loved
The State too back in the day.
Yeah, we were in middle school and that came out, and we would gather around to watch it. It was so bizarre and fun.
They did a really funny. Most of the guys in that did a really funny parody that was only online. I think it was like Yahoo's did like a 5-week. Jump into, we're going to do original video.
Yeah.
And they did a show. It was a parody of like one of these dating reality shows. I can't remember the name of it. It is unbelievably funny.
I have to check. I haven't seen it, I don't think.
I don't think anybody did back in the day, but it was really funny. It was most of those guys from the State.
I got to check it out.
Tim and Eric, awesome show. Great job. I did consider that one. Honestly, this is kind of my vibe. It's really, really weird though. And it doesn't always land. Some of the funniest stuff on that show is really, really good.
The show is brilliant. It's so uncomfortable at times, though. That's why it didn't land.
Yeah.
I like discomfort in comedy.
But
there was a level to that had never been done before, which I do appreciate, but just not in my top 5.
Tracy Ullman show. Was on Fox for a while.
I remember that.
Also birthed The Simpsons.
It did.
Which was a big, probably its most notable.
People forget that.
Upright Citizens Brigade as well.
Brilliant show.
Really well done.
I was watching yesterday. I'm just going to say to the audience, if you want to Google ass pennies, I would highly recommend that sketch.
Now, you might not get a sketch if you Google that. It might be on page 4
Yeah,
of the
make
Google
sure it's
results.
Upright Citizens Brigade ass pennies, but it's one of the best sketches, in my opinion, ever written. And then the Time Machine sketch, which is a 3-part that runs through the episode, where he's like, hey, we can go to my room and see my time machine. The guy's like, look, I'm not gay. Why would I? He goes, oh, you think because I have a time machine, I'm gay? He's like, no, it's just I don't think time machines are real.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay, well, I guess I'll go share. I guess somebody else wants to have lunch with Ben Franklin. And the guy's like, all right, I'll come to your room. He goes, okay, well, you got to put on these bike shorts before we go in the time machine. And then it just keeps escalating. Where he's like, that man raped me. And he's like, no, I didn't. You don't remember meeting Abraham Lincoln? Like, it's so funny and good. I wish it lasted longer, too.
Yeah.
It was only a couple years.
A lot of these is one of the things I had a problem with, and how to balance that.
And Amy Poehler was on that before SNL because she helped create Upright Citizens Brigade.
Yeah.
And it's so good and irreverent. You want to talk about a trans joke? There's one where a guy just brings his girlfriend to dinner, and I forget the bald guy's name on the show with the mustache, but it's just him in a dress. And the whole time, the guy's just like, "That's a man. Stop calling it a woman. It's a man." It's just so funny.
I mean, the truth used to be a big part of this, and I think we have gotten away from it. That was Matt Walsh was on there, not the Matt Walsh. The
that's the one I'm talking about.
He's
the commentator, yeah.
I could just go through lists of shows.
Right.
I got to stop this because
we do. We're going to keep going. But yeah, he was in like Old School. Like if you saw him, you know exactly who he is.
He was in Elf as well.
He was, yeah.
Briefly in Elf, but another great show, which was called Dog Bites Man, that nobody saw.
That was a great show.
Oh, utterly
good
fantastic.
pull. I forgot that existed.
Great show. It's a show that should have had 10 seasons.
I couldn't agree more.
Anyway, none of those shows are the shows we're talking about. So we just spent 8 minutes on shows we're not putting in our top 5 sketch comedy. I'll start it off here, Dave, and we can kind of comment on it as we go. But,
sure.
My number 5, I had to go this way. It's kind of boring. Saturday Night Live. And I went that way because, honestly, its batting average isn't great. But you're talking about basically setting the standard for a very long time, mainstream, and tons of great material built into 50 seasons. It's only about 8 seasons total of great material in the 50, but it's still, you got to give it credit.
Yes, that's why Saturday Night Live I didn't put in my top 5 is because of how many misses, although obviously nothing really exists to this day without it. But the one that I credit in number 5 is SCTV.
SCTV?
Which is Second City TV. And they were the ones who really, because all Lorne Michaels really did was he was kind of a joke thief who wrote for Lily Tomlin. And he took basically what Second City was and turned it into a television show.
Yeah.
And then Second City did it after. So Second City was doing this first. And
SCTV giving some of the, Rick Moranis, right?
Rick Moranis, John Candy, Eugene Levy, Catherine O'Hara.
Very Canadian.
Very Canadian show. But even just Rick Moranis playing the crooner of like modern day songs is absolutely brilliant. Everything that you put John Candy in is just lovable.
Automatically.
Strange Brew came out of it. Joe Flaherty, who was brilliant. He was brilliant on Freaks and Geeks as one of the dads. So many great sketches from that show. And it's not as, I don't think it's as popular, obviously, because it was a Canadian show. They had no budget whatsoever.
Yeah, but legends came out of it.
But yeah, if I had to tie them with SNL, I would. But I would say SCTV.
Very fair. Okay, I had my number 4 best sketch comedy show of all time. I had Portlandia.
It's a good show.
This is a great show with Fred Armisen as the kind of and Carrie. I can't think of her last name, but she's great too. One of the things that's interesting about it. I think it went for 9 seasons, and it's one of the only shows, even in shows that I have ranked higher, that really went after sort of liberal culture, and in a I would say a loving, light touch sort of way, but. In a really funny way. You know, it's great. If the Women on Women's bookstore is one of the greatest series of sketches of all time.
Well, and Fred Armisen's liberal, and I think part of it is you're coming from a knowing place. It's like if I mock something about addiction, or you talk about something you know, I think it makes it all the funnier.
Yeah, agreed.
So that's why the show is so good, is because it's ripping on what they are and what they know.
Really, what's your number 4?
Oh, sorry, Chappelle Show.
Chappelle Show's great. I didn't have it on my list.
Okay,
but it's a great show.
I think Chappelle's Show, what I found so amazing about it was my brother was in a frat in college, and I remember people gathering around a TV to watch Chappelle's Show. It was so big, and it put sketch comedy on the map in a level that I had never seen.
Yeah, and
it was irreverent, and so many of the sketches, even the other day, I showed my son the "What'd the 5 fingers say to the face?" Slap. It's the Rick James story told by Charlie Murphy. There's so much memorable dialogue.
Basically, almost like the foundation of the modern meme. I feel like there's 25 memes that came out of that show.
Oh, for sure.
I'm going to go deep cut here for our number 3. Most people probably haven't seen it, but it's called The Birthday Boys. This was
I've seen it now. I know. Yes, I have. Okay.
Okay. It was on IFC, I think, for a couple seasons. One of the things I struggled with doing this list is how do you put a 50-season show like SNL against a 2-season show like The Birthday Boys. It's one of those I think really should have had more life. I think there's 20 episodes of it. It's a lot of really funny stuff. I loved it. So it's you can find it out there. It's on a bunch of the services, but The Birthday Boys, number 3 for me.
I have to go back and rewatch, but I remember loving it. Yeah. And I just can't picture it right now, but I do remember loving it.
All right. What's your number 3?
Number 3 is Mr. Show with Bob and David.
Ooh, number 3.
Show we were just talking about. I think it's brilliant. If you haven't watched it, I highly recommend getting Mr. Show from the beginning. I have all the DVDs too.
Yes.
And I love that the first episode, David Cross is pointing out that they still have the specials written. Like there's a film.
They did it in a restaurant. Yeah.
And there's just the specials written on the board. He's like, this is how little faith HBO has in our series. They haven't even erased the specials because they don't want you to know we're taping in a restaurant. But it's still a full service restaurant while we're trying to do this.
Very true. It's not going to be a huge surprise. I did have that at number 1 for me. That's my maybe my all-time favorite show. Number 2 for me, I had I Think You Should Leave with Tim Robinson, which is a Netflix show.
Great show.
I freaking love that show. I've watched all of the episodes 9 zillion times.
Yeah, I've actually had the honor of doing improv with Tim Robinson.
Yeah,
which is very cool.
And his what's his friend?
Sam Richardson was in an improv troupe with me, who was his co-star on Detroiters.
Yeah,
it was called Members Only, and we wore members only jackets. I'm sorry, I know it's corny, but the shows were really fun. But very cool. That's a brilliant show.
All right, let's get the last because we're very much against the clock here. Last one, number 1 for Dave Landau. This is a big moment.
Well, we got number 2 though, real quick.
Okay,
I gotta do it. It's a tie between The Kids in the Hall and The Whitest Kids You Know.
I love the Whitest Kids You Know. I almost had on the list.
Dude, that's such a good show.
So good. I wasn't as big on The Kids in the Hall. A lot of people were.
I loved it.
I love Whitest Kids.
Whitest Kids You Know is brilliant. And number 1, I go In Living Color.
In Living Color, really?
It was irreverent. It was in prime time. They ripped on everything. I mean, from Men on Film, from Hated It, Homie the Clown.
Yeah.
These, they were, and the more I see the older clips, they still stand because even though it was like kind of goofy and like maybe too much, it felt at the time.
Yeah.
What they were doing had a lot of balls. And I almost wrote for when they were going to bring it back.
Really? Oh, I didn't know they were going to bring it back.
They were going to bring it back in about 2012. And I was going to be the Robert Schimmel, the White Writer, and then they canceled it. It was a bummer. All right. But I do love that show.
All right, so that's our top 5. We'll post this somewhere on social media so you can see it and go watch a bunch of hours of sketch comedy. We need to take a break, though. We're very late. Back in a second. We've been talking and gone on and on and on, probably too long, about sketch comedy today because we both really enjoy it quite a bit. Dave Chappelle was one of the shows. You had Chappelle show, what, number 3 on your list?
Yeah, I believe number
3. Number 4.
4. Oh, look at it. It's right in front of me. I'm reading you.
He is apparently revisiting bringing it back. Remember, he dropped out at like the height of the show.
Turned down $50 million.
$50 million. And it was his rationale was kind of interesting. It was a bizarre point in his life. Came back kind of just through the stand-up direction.
Yes.
Has not been doing sketch comedy for a while, but I guess is considering now bringing it back. Are you going to potentially write on that show as well?
I wish. Yeah. No, I think it's a good idea. I'd like to see what he's able to create with it. I know a lot of people aren't fans of some of his recent stuff, but I like Dave. I've had the honor of opening for him a couple times, and I'm very curious to see what it would be. I never think it's a good idea to just kind of redo something you've already done well.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was kind of snaked from him at the last couple.
Yeah.
It became mine.
Well, it was really his call, though, right?
Well, I remember when I opened for him and Mind Mencia was on, and he's like, "That might be Carlos's mine, but it's my show."
Oh, wow.
So it's something that's going to be hard to rebrand 22 years later.
Yeah. All right, we got to take a break. Back in a second. All right, new episode of Predictable coming up here in a little bit. PredictableShow.com or search on YouTube for Predictable with Stu. We would, of course, also love for you to join BlazeTV, blazetv.com/Stu and Dave. There you can use the code Stu and Dave and save $20. And, of course, Dave Landau coming to a city near you. Go to davelandau.com. You know a couple of the dates here, Dave?
Just this weekend, come out to the Soul Theater in Boca Raton.
Yeah, do that. Go see Dave. We'll see you next week.
Blessings.